Tell me if this sounds familiar. You fall in love with a car, so you buy it. Everything's great. As you get used to it, you realize, you know what, there's actually a few things I don't like about this car. Completely normal. Now, let me tell you those flaws with this NC Miata here. Don't get me wrong, I love this car, but it is not for everybody, and let me tell you why. My name is Amron, welcome to Driver's Side. Here's 5 things that I hate about the NC Miata. The first thing is the key. Yes, that's the key. That's all you get. So if you have a base model like mine, you won't have keyless entry or any type of remote, which means your passenger is just waiting awkwardly until you get in the car and can open it for them from the inside. This really makes you appreciate keyless entry, and it doesn't seem too bad, but after a while, it does get annoying. Honestly, this would make sense on an older car, but considering this is a 2015 and everything is manual, it's pretty interesting. I haven't really seen a car that modern without keyless entry. And it's not just the door. It's also the trunk. You need a physical key. You also need it for the glove box and for the center console. The worst part, which has happened to me a few times, is if you're driving and you forget that you locked your center console and you need something in there, you cannot open it since there's just this one key for everything. And so you would have to turn the car off just so that you can open your storage compartment. Okay, next up is the seats. And honestly, they're not terrible, but for longer trips, they leave a lot to be desired. Mine are obviously not in the best shape, but I want to show you this. At the bottom, there's just an open gap. So there's no lumbar support at all. If something falls out of my pocket, it always ends up sliding in there and going under the seat, which is really annoying. But let me show you what I'm talking about with the lack of support in these seats. So it might look okay right now, but I'm going to use my boy, Blastoise, to show you what I'm talking about. So first of all, he shouldn't really be able to squeeze in there like that. So it just shows you there's too much space back there. And you can see he's just pops in and out way too easily. So after about an hour is usually when I start to feel a little discomfort in my back. And if you keep going, it definitely makes you want to take a break and just get out of there. Alright, the next thing I hate about the NC Miata is the wind noise. I think we can add a couple other noises too. For example, if I move the seat all the way back, that gets super annoying. There's also a window rattle that you can't hear so much, but it sounds something like that. So both of those things I definitely want to fix because they're very annoying. But let's talk about the wind noise when driving. I think the best way to describe it, honestly, is it just feels like you're in a plane. You know when you're in a plane and there's just that constant hum, and then it's not until you get out of the plane that you realize how loud it was in there? That's pretty much exactly how it feels in here, but to a lesser degree. That's what the top up at least. So I'm just gonna drive and let you guys listen. This is about 40 miles per hour right now. So, on the freeway, definitely a bit louder than that. If you're not used to it, any other car really is going to feel a lot more comfortable as far as noise goes. So definitely something to keep in mind. I actually do wear earplugs. They're like concert grade earplugs, so I can still hear my music and everything. But it does help a lot with the wind noise. So something to keep in mind. Earplugs help a lot, but I know a lot of people don't want to be wearing earplugs when they're driving. I will say I think the best way to drive if you're trying to eliminate noise, put the wind deflector up, put both the windows up. Actually cuts out a lot of wind noise. I'm not sure if the mic picks it up. I just hear exhaust now. I think this is actually quieter than having the top up. So I pretty much never have the top up ever. I also really don't like the blind spots and bad visibility when the top is up. So this is how I'm driving 90% of the time. I can tell right now, right away though, a lot quieter with this up, windows up. What do you think? Okay, the next thing that I hate about this car, kind of tied to the noise, is the sound system, especially with the wind noise and now with my exhaust. It is just not, it's not even that it's not loud enough or anything like that. It just sounds bad. And I can't show you because of copyright reasons, but basically, you try to turn the volume up and it gets super muddy. The speakers at this age and how they've been used maybe have been blown out, so maybe I just need to replace them. But the sound system, if you're somebody who really values music and likes to listen to music while you drive, you have to upgrade it, and that is something that I will be doing. So I hope you guys are interested in seeing that later. Just know that sound system, not a priority in this car. If you want better sound, start with the exhaust, like I did. You can just listen to that. Okay, now the last thing that I really hate about this car is the ride height, especially in the back. And I know the earlier NCs are even worse. There's just way too much room. The height is insanely high, and also the fitment. These are aftermarket. These are the FD-RX-7 wheels, and they're pushed out much more nicely. But the stock wheel sits like right here, I swear. It's just so caved in and it looks even worse. If you really want this car to look good, you have to lower it pretty much, in my opinion. The benefit of it though, I will say, is that because it's so soft and there's so much travel, it is a very comfortable ride as far as suspension goes. And actually more comfortable than a lot of other full-size cars, which really surprised me. But yeah, seeing this ride height definitely makes me sad. More so the back. It just looks broken, to be honest. So that's a big hate of mine on this car and something to be aware of. Okay, so those are 5 things that I hate about the NC Miata. Now, a lot of you might be surprised that I didn't mention not having enough power or not having enough space. Have you seen this thing? It's so tiny. So 1, complaining about space in a tiny 2-seat roadster doesn't really make sense. If you want space, that's not something that you buy. I will say this car has surprised me with how much space it does have. It has the biggest trunk of all the Miatas. I really don't think 2 people would have any issue going anywhere they want to, and I have personally never ran out of space. I even got some furniture for my place, like this coffee table and some bar stools with the top off. So unlimited vertical storage if you can do it. So I really don't think it's as much of an issue. You just have to be a little flexible and creative. As far as power, this car isn't so much fast as it is fun, and it's fun at any speed, which I love. This little motor is fuel efficient, it has a ton of personality, and you get to use all of it all the time. Honestly, revving it all the way out to 7,500 RPM just never gets old. So those are the 5 things that I hate, but honestly, I just love this car. Just wanted to show you guys some things that you might want to be aware of and keep in mind if you consider getting one. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next one.